right, everybody. Welcome to the Night Show podcast. My name is DeShawn Isaac. Very happy to be with you here on YouTube. And yeah, we are doing something new here. It is literally the show, like we'd always do. Every week, we gonna do a video type show of the Night Show. How is this gonna work here? Well, every week we're going to upload a new show for you here, and it's going to be formatted like the regular show, like if you listen to us over on Play FM, which I do want to remind you, you can check out the night show every weeknight from 7 to midnight right here on Play FM. Again, that's every Saturday night, that's every weeknight from 7 to midnight over on Play FM if you want to check that out. And lots of stuff we got on the show tonight. We're going to talk about the big headline going on with the Bachelorette. We now know some more details on what happened there. So we're going to talk about that. That is pretty interesting how that is all developing tonight and how that is all rolling out because, man, it is a massive story. And I know for a lot of people, they'd be like, it's The Bachelor. Why should I care? It is rare that a network who puts out $100 million for a show literally says at the last minute, yeah, we're pulling it 3 days before the show airs. So crazy situation there. And we're going to talk about that all coming up on the show tonight. Also, more celebrity news. Is Usher and Justin Bieber cool with each other? Turns out, no, they aren't, and they got into a fist fight. We're going to talk about that on the show tonight. Also, in the download, we're going to talk a little bit of music because BTS has a concert this weekend. If you're watching this on Saturday, it's tonight, and it's on Netflix. We'll talk about that here. Also, a little bit of weird news of a bear in California uh, that literally interrupted a whole newscast. I'll tell you the details about that as well here, and the crazy video from that as well here, and a whole lot of other stuff as well. And we'll look back at most requested this past week as well here. So, whole lot of show for you here, and I hope we're going to have a lot of fun here, and I hope that you get to enjoy this. But let's start with the headline tonight here on the night here on this night show podcast, and the big headline is this whole bachelorette situation. Uh, Let me break it down for you here. This is one of the craziest stories to go down. So, in the morning yesterday, on Thursday, TMZ posted a video. The video they posted was a video of Taylor Frankie Paul. If you don't know who she is, she's from the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and it was a kind of a weird show there. So this was outside of the Bachelorette sphere because it's kind of weird. Usually, the Bachelorette is usually somebody who got spurned by the Bachelor. They've never gone away from the Bachelor and the Bachelorette. You will never see that again because of what happened with Frankie Paul. But here's the deal. They were amped. They were super amped about this whole situation. And it sounded like they were ready to go and all this stuff. And then we started hearing rumblings early in the week of, hey, there was a fight um Frankie Frankie Paul and her ex Dakota, and people who are familiar with that show, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, know that yeah, these two have had trouble with each other for years. And people thought, oh, that story wasn't going to be nothing. Yeah, nothing's going to happen with that. And ABC kind of went that direction as well here. That was going to be the direction they were going to go with. But unfortunately, that was not the direction it headed. It headed a completely different direction. And boy, it went the direction that nobody expected it to head. The video dropping on Thursday morning, and by Thursday afternoon, The Bachelorette is canceled, which is absolutely wild that you have a monster show like The Bachelorette say, 86, you're done, bye bye. which is never, this never usually happens. You have to realize the amount of money that goes into TV, the amount of money to put a show on TV, and it's Disney, it's Warner Brothers, Discovery, two major companies. Two major companies. I know people are saying, "Oh, it's Disney, it's their show." Warner Brothers is a part of the production of it as well here. They're fighting over who didn't do what and why did nobody know about this video, and that is the crazy part about it. Nobody knew about this video until it came out and we watched it. And I'm not going to show it here. And I'm making a decision here, executive decision here of not showing you that video. If you want to go see that video, that is over on tmz.com. Uh, it's a hard watch. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a hard, hard watch. It's not a fun watch at all. It's one of the more brutal, ugly videos I've ever seen on and yes, you see a child get hit by a chair, and it just that part cost her the Bachelorette, because I don't care who you are. If you're a man or a woman or somebody who cares about kids, and that happens, you cannot see that woman no more as somebody as, "Oh, I'm gonna be invested in their love story." Oh, now you're gonna see him as, "Why would I be invested in you if you're gonna throw a chair at a child and you didn't think of the child? No, 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 no. You went and blamed the dude." In fact, her statement was so interesting to me. And the reason I want to point out that statement is it is one of the wildest statements I've ever read. Uh, it was wild. It was really something that I'm in shock, because I want you to hear her statement. Her statement said, let's see, she where is it? Where is it? She broke her silence, and this is what she said. Quote, "Taylor is very grateful for ABC's support as she prioritizes her family's safety and security. After years of silence and suffering and extensive mental and physical abuse, as well as threat of retaliation, Taylor is finally gaining the strength to face her accusers and taking the steps to ensure she and her children are protected from any further harm. There are too many women who are suffering in silence as they survive aggressive, jealous ex-partners who refuse to let them move on with their lives. Taylor has remained silent out of fear of further abuse, retaliation, and public shaming. She is currently exploring all her options and seeking support and preparing to own and share her story." But here's the thing. I want to go back to something she said. She said, jealous partners who refuse to let them move on, and aggressive partners. If you watch that video, she was an absolute aggressor. And I get that them two were toxic together. You have to recognize when you're toxic together, you just have to stay away from each other. For your mental health, for your mental benefit, for whoever you are, you got to stay away from that whole situation. And you know that situation sucks. It sucks, but it has to happen. It has to happen because, in truthfulness and all sincerity, it is not a good situation for anybody involved to be in that situation in any way, shape, or form. So, just to be honest, you got to do what you got to do. But for her, the second we saw her be the aggressor and throw a chair, throw not one chair, not two chairs, but three chairs at the ex. And there's a history on the show. I didn't even know about the show, and I don't even watch the show, but they're saying these two have been toxic to each other for years. And oh, yes, something that we forget here, both of them are the whole series that she's on have actually shut down production because of these allegations and this whole investigation going on. And uh, an update to that story, they're saying Utah officials are looking at possibly locking her up because she did violate parole, and she was on parole till August. So if she's saying, I want to stay away and I want to help my kids and da 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 da, you didn't do that. You didn't do that at all. You are only caring about one person. And we later, and the day before that, we learned that, yeah, she has an alcohol problem and all this stuff. So we know a lot about you now that you don't want in the public. You didn't sure heck didn't want Zupa Cafe to know it, because she said, "Oh, don't worry, I bite." Oh, we now know you do more than biting. You do also punching, scratching, throwing chairs, uh hitting people with chairs, and all this fun stuff that nobody knew. And her mugshot as a guy, and I'm being honest, as a guy, when I saw that picture, I was like, oh, oh no, you are crazy. You're not like, ha ha ha, kind of crazy. You are crazy. And there was a picture that TMZ got of both of her exes going for protective custody orders. Not just Dakota, but the ex before, saying, I'm going to go get a protective custody order. Boy, the person who won the Bachelorette sure got a prize. And they got a horrible prize, because that woman is nuts. And I mean horribly nuts. So, man, that is not a good situation at all. Uh boy, we're going to keep an eye on that story, because I got a feeling it's going to get a lot worse. And we haven't even touched where ABC and Disney are involved here. Uh Before we go into celebrity news, there is one more headline that I do want to hit on. Nexstar has bought Tanga, and for a lot of stations across the country, there's about to be some monster changes. In my market here in Columbus, Ohio, um, the ABC, the NBC and CBS are now owned by the same company. Nexstar Communications, which is Nexstar Media Group, now owns WCMH and NBC in our market. And it is absolutely wild to say that, and to say how historic these two stations are. And with WBNS's legacy as a radio, TV pioneer in our market and a leader in our market, and to be reduced down to what it is right now with Tanga, and what it's going to be reduced down to Nexstar Communication, which, let's be real, Nexstar is not going to spend a whole bunch of money on redundant staff to do what they're doing. And there's going to be ugly cuts. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible to media across the country, and that is just not a situation where it's not going to be good at all from people around the country. And I know a few professionals. I know people who are very professional. I know a lot of people who are media professionals in the news industry. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, because now you got two companies. Now, instead of having about three or four companies competing, you now only got like three, and that's Gray, that's Sinclair, and now that's Nexstar. Tanga's now gone, and it's not going to be a good thing for viewers, listeners, and anyone who really want great television and great media and great news coverage. It's just not going to be a good thing for anyone, and that is a scary thing for all. Just being honest here. Uh, I'm glad I got to talk about that a lot, because I think we hit on a lot of stuff in about 15 minutes here, and I know I talked about Frankie Paul. I know I talked about that, and let's get into some celebrity news, because man, I got to talk about this story, because uh, the Justin Bieber story. If you're going like, Justin Bieber, what is this Justin Bieber story? So there is a story right now involving Justin Bieber, and let's see. I'm actually going to look this up here, because it's a crazy story. Justin Bieber was at a Grammy party, and he bumped into um one Usher. if you remember early in the career, him and Usher were cool with each other at the beginning of the career. But right now, they're not cool with each other. They're not cool with each other at all. Usher and Justin Bieber got into a heated a heated argument at a Oscars after party hosted by Beyonce and Jay Z. TMZ has learned. They said we've heard people talking about the incident between Usher and Justin. Some saying it ended as a fist fight between the two. Sources connected to Justin tell Usher came up to Justin at the party with anger and energy, and the two got into a very heated exchange. They said our Bieber source said there was no physical contact, but it was intense. If there is not no physical contact and not intense, that means some words were said and it was got ugly. They said we've blown up the phones of Usher's camp to see if they have the consistent story. They have not talked to TMZ about this. They're not going to talk to TMZ about this because they're hoping that this gets buried and gone and nobody's talking about it. Of course, now you had Taylor Frankie Paul have her video out there. This story is about to be buried in a quick manner. They said one source connected to JB told us JB has always been rude to Usher. Still, it's unclear what the argument was about, though we're told it didn't drag on. There's a lot of celebrities witnessing this fight, so we got some of the celebrities there, and I'm not going to read off all of them here because we got time. Even though we got time, I don't got time to do that. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, Tiana Taylor, Timothy Chalamet, Kylie Jenner, Austin Butler, Jacob Elordi, Emma Stone, Emma Watson, Kendall Jenner, Megan Fox, Kris Jenner, Sofia Vergara, Vin Diesel, John Batiste, Jack O'Connell. I don't know who Jack O'Connell is. I'll be honest. There's some names I don't know on here. Chloe Bailey, Vanessa and Nolly Bryant, and oh yeah, his wife was there watching this, had a front row seat to this whole situation. But they're saying nobody there. Yes, there was an argument, but nobody's really talking, and that tells me, did this happen? Did this not happen? We don't know. We don't know. It could be very interesting how that happens. So, before we get into the rest of the show here, let's talk about most requested this past week because, man, most requested was absolutely wild. So, Olivia Dean did something on our countdown we have never seen before. And if you're saying, we've seen a lot of things on most requested. We've seen artists just dominate a week and just own the week and destroy a week and just do it with like a lot of votes and a lot of points in a quick time span. 4 days, they could get up nearly 20 points and they disappear for the 5th day. Olivia Dean did it different. So this week, she was on the countdown Monday. She was on the countdown Tuesday. She was on the countdown Wednesday. After Wednesday on the leaderboard, Olivia Dean was at the top with Ray at number 2. Thursday comes around. Olivia Dean at 3, Ray at 2. Kalani's Folded was at number 1. And that meant Ray took the number 1 spot. Olivia Dean was at number 2. We thought, okay, that's the end of the week. There's no way that, I'm going to be honest, how it usually goes is if you're at the spot on Thursday and you've been on the charts 4 days in a row, normally you're not going to be on the chart a 5th day in a row. And usually we say, hey, that could happen, that could maybe happen, but 99% of the time, that doesn't happen because you have a lot of songs that everybody gets sick of and everybody wants to say, I want to hear something else, and they forget about the song. Not this week. Not this week at all. Olivia Dean, So Easy to Fall in Love, ended up at number 2. Meaning, Olivia Dean won the week on most requested. Ray took number 2. Somber took number 3. Harry Styles took number 4. And Sabrina Carpenter, previous queen of most requested, she just took number 5. And here's the critical thing about Olivia Dean here. We have not had anybody on most requested literally take almost all the points on most requested in a week. It is absolutely wild that happened. And she took as many points as she could And 17 points is a very strong performance on Most Requested. What is even stronger is you showed up for all 5 days. No artist. Even on the weeks that I remember, Leon Thomas, Sabrina Carpenter's big week, and Raven Lenae's big week on Most Requested. Those are our top 3. Olivia Dean had one of the strongest weeks ever. And I'm not going to tell you what happens on the Electric Top 20 because this will be out before Electric Top 20. That is my game plan. I would tell you, go listen to Electric Top 20. Go to their website. Go check them out. And listen to the show and look up their list. Olivia Dean did something on Electric Top 20 I have never seen before. I'm just giving you that. Olivia Dean does something on Electric Top 20 I have never seen before, and I've been looking at the list for this show for about almost 3 years now, and I have never seen this happen before. I will tell you, listen this Sunday. Go listen this Sunday. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens on this show. It is going to be absolutely interesting. So, let's get it. So, want to remind you what's up on the show here because a lot of stuff we got to do here. Let me do a couple plugs here real quick here before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show here and get into some weird news. Want to remind you, we have Most Requested every weeknight at 9 right here on Play FM. That is your top 5 songs of the day. It's all voted on by you. Of course, if you want to get your votes in on the show, it is very easy to do. 18554 Play FM. Oh, I am muted. No, I'm not muted. Hey, I'm using OBS here. If you want to get involved in the show, it's very easy to do. 18554 Play FM. That's 1-855-475-2936. You can check us out at playfmonline.com and Play FM Hits on social media. Again, those are the ways you can get in touch with the station. Go check us out. Be a part of the conversation there on Play FM. All right, let me keep it going here and go into some weird news tonight because I got a good weird news story for you here. And this weird news story involves a crazy situation in Los Angeles. So here's the situation in Los Angeles, which is absolutely wild. So let me explain this whole situation. There was a bear. There was a bear that wandered into a KTLA reporter's live shot while covering a violent encounter that a bear had in that area. It happened in the Monrovia area. This happened in Los Angeles. And this got crazy fast. I'm going to show you the video here. And I'm going to show you this right
they
now.
are most likely trying to trap.
I'm going to actually mute that real quick and show you this video because I want you to understand how crazy this is because it is one of the wildest stories I've ever seen here. So let me see if I got this. Here we go. I'm going to pull up the video here and I'm just going to let you watch it. What I will tell you is I want you to look at the barrel in the corner right. And when you're looking at this video, it's right there. Watch that barrel. You're going to see something pop up right around that barrel. It is going to be absolutely wild here. So here it is. And you're going to notice that there is a barrel right there. I'm going to show you on the video here. It's right there. It's right here. And you're going to see it. And I'm just going to press play. And we're going to let it play out. And I'll let you hear what happened. Oh, nope.
Myers in Monrovia, a bear attacked a woman walking her dog in this neighborhood, and now they're trying to determine if it is the same bear that lives underneath the house here behind me. All those details coming up.
Do something here on my end.
And yes, we all see that bear off to the right side. We'll get back with Aaron in just a moment. We all know California.
I see it now.
To Aaron Myers.
Yep. There
We're
it
going back
is.
now.
She's pointing out the
Aaron, what are you
video
seeing
here.
out there?
I'm
Be
not sure if it's
careful.
playing on my. Yep, it's playing on your end here.
Hi, you
Is
guys.
here,
You can see the
and
bear
you notice that
actually
she's
walking
pointing out
into
this
the trap.
bear.
Or
It's
nope, it
right
was going
there,
to, but now it's
and
walking out. We're going to
it's
step back a
crazy
little bit.
that she's seeing this bear
We're told
right
by
there
the
in
man
the
who
corner,
lives
and the
here that
cameraman
this
sees this
bear,
bear as well
has been
here,
here for several
and
months,
you're about to see this
and
bear
they
as
do
well,
believe it has
and
a
it's just
baby that's also
crazy
living
that
in the house. So
there it
it's walking
is
out this
right
way.
there, and you're going
We may
like,
get back in the car
oh
depending on what
crap.
it does, but right now you
That
can
is
see
an
it
oh
here
crap
in the
situation.
driveway. They say
And
he
she
usually,
mentioned
or she
something
usually
a
comes
little
out
later
a
in the
couple
video that I'm
times
going
a
to
day,
mention here in a
and
moment.
just hangs out in this
She said
neighborhood a
later
lot.
on that
You can see her
the
right there
second
going
time
onto the
this happened
grass.
to her here.
And they
look
don't
at
know.
this.
I do want to
This
say
is
they
a
don't know if this is the
monster
bear
of
that
bear. This
attacked
is
the
a
person walking.
big old grizzly just
That
going
woman
down the
did
street,
have her dog with her. The bear
chilling,
swiped her leg.
and just
We're
having
told
fun.
she's
And
going to be okay.
they're
But
saying
this is like
they're not sure
around
if
the
this
700
was.
block of
I'm not
Oak
sure if
Glade
this was
Drive.
the bear
Once
in
again, this bear has been
question,
here for some
but
time.
they said that the
Residents say
bear
they have
there.
seen it for quite a while. And
Uh,
you do see Fish and Wildlife here
I'm
too. They
going
are
to go
out
off
here
the video
monitoring
here
the
because they're
situation.
saying
And guys, this is the
that
second
the
time I've had a
bear
bear show up
there,
on live TV with
the
me
bear that you
before.
see in that
So
video,
pretty
and he's going
close,
to
but
go
it is
up
walking
here
away
in
from us.
transition. I'm going to
They
go
are
back to that
most
video
likely
real quick
trying to
here.
trap it. We
You
don't
see
know
him
what they
walking
will
down
do
the
with the
street,
bear,
just
or if they're
chilling.
going to be able to get the baby either. We haven't seen the
And
baby
this is just
with her,
wild.
but the man who lives here, yeah, he
Just walking down the street,
tells us
just
he has
chilling,
his dog
just
here too.
being a
He
bear.
doesn't let his dog in
And
the
unfortunately,
backyard
he's a
right
bear
now
in the
because
neighborhood,
of the
and
bear.
it was gonna go
Oh, there we go. It's
shoot up
running into the yard
towards
because the
the
car's
bushes,
coming.
and
You can
it's
see it going up that way.
absolutely scary how
But there
quick
are
that
quite a
bear
few
moved.
bears in this neighborhood,
And
people say. And we
here's
have seen
the
a
thing.
lot of people
The
walking this
reporter
morning,
said this
walking
is
their
the second
dogs. You can
time
hike in
this
this area. A lot of
happened
people
to
on
her,
bikes.
which is
So we're just going to keep monitoring the
wild
situation out
that
here. It's
they said
behind
that
the
that was the second
palms
time
up
it
there.
happened
There you can
to
see a
her,
little bit of it.
and it's just
But yeah,
so
live.
crazy
This is the
when
first
you
time
hear
we've
a
seen it this
reporter say,
morning. And the gentleman who lives
"Oh,
in the
this is just the
home,
second
yeah,
time
been
it
here for
happened to
several
me."
months.
Nothing
First
wrong with
time
it,
most
just
of the
the
neighbors
second
here
time
have told
it
us
has
that they've ever
actually
seen a bear
happened to
actually
me,
attack
and
somebody.
I don't know what
But
to
we don't
say
know the
about
circumstances.
that. So I don't know what to say except, holy crap, that is scary. That is absolutely scary that you have a bear just pop up and say, "Hi, I'm a bear." And also heard that the bear that they found the bear, they euthanized it because it did swipe at a human and tried to injure her and her dog. So that's why KTLA was there, and it's scary that happened. So yikes. I mean, there's no nice way of saying this. It's scary that happened, but there you go. Crazy story out of Los Angeles with animals, and that is a scary situation all around. So there you go, in full, the video and the story that really showed off the week here. So we got a lot of the stuff out of the way here, and let me go into the download here because there was a lot of stuff in the download. And for our folks who usually listen to the download, Tuesday, we had some issues here. Oh boy, I don't know where I put my phone. Hold on a second here. I don't know where I put my phone, but sat on it. Sat on it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sitting on my phone and I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah. Story of my life. Story of my life, folks. Story of my life. So, here is some of the we actually missed some stuff here. So, I didn't tell you what movies were on streaming this week. And there was some good movies on streaming this week if you wanted to check that out. So, I didn't get to tell you this because we had that issue on Tuesday where our system just decided to say, give us the middle finger and say, "No, I'm not working today." Well, here's the thing. Cillian Murphy's Tommy Shelby was back this week in a new Peaky Blinders movie, The Immortal Man. That will be on Netflix. That was on Netflix as of Friday. Series creator Stephen Knight wrote the script, and Tom Harper directed the film. So so if you love the Peaky Blinders, that is on Netflix if you want to check that out. Yeah, that's going to be a very good one there. Also, is this thing on the one with Bradley Cooper directing and Will Arnett and Laura Dern in that movie about a man going through a divorce who turns to stand up and all that stuff? That is on Hulu as of Friday, so you can go check that out. That's a good one there. Also, Wicked for Good is officially on streaming as of Friday as well here. You know the deal. It's Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, and there has been some big songs off that album here on Play FM. So that is something you want to check out there. And you know what? Let me do that here as we're talking about the download. Let's talk about music as well here. The big story this week in music, if you're going to go check out some music and do all that stuff, um, BTS is back. Yeah, BTS is back in a big way. Erang, this is their first full-length album since all seven members completed their South Korean mandatory military service, because remember, they were the hottest group around. Then they had to stop. And at that time, you had in that little window, Blackpink took over. And you had groups, the girl groups from South Korea started taking over. You had Cat's Eyes jump in there. Well, the Kings are back, and they are back to take back the crown here of K-pop's biggest stars. So, kind of interesting to go check this out for sure. If you want to check it out today, if you're watching this on Saturday, BTS The Comeback at Arwang is going to be broadcasted from Seoul's Gangwon Square, and it's going to be a big event. So you can go check that out. Also, Luke Combs got some new music as well here. It's called The Way I Am. That is out today. That was out Friday, if you want to check that out. And a couple new singles that are there. Be By You and Sleepless in a Hotel Room. That is there as well, if you want to check that out. Also, let's see what is out there as well here. I told going over series. Let me go over some games here. And games I'm going to do exclusively here on the podcast. Two games you want to check out. Crimson Desert. Let me see. Oh, it jumped on me. I hate when it jumps on me here, but it did it. But the computer just decided to say, I want to reload. I don't want to reload, computer. I don't need you to reload. You don't need to. Stop it. As I was about to talk about gaming, like, I don't want you to talk about gaming. Well, we're talking about gaming. I don't care. Crimson Desert, which is an ambitious role-playing adventure from South Korean studio Pearl Abyss, is a tale of a warrior named Kif in a quasi-medieval world called Crowell. After Kif and his comrades get ambushed, he sets out on a mission of vengeance, but you could expect to fight some more than other humans in a sword and sorcery epic like this. It's intense looking battles, familiar fantasy foes like witches, demons, ogres, dragons, and all that stuff, with a flying mech thrown in there for good measure. You can check that out on PlayStation 5, Xbox X and S, and PC. Also, the game MLB The Show 26 is out as well. And it also lets you replay the WBC that Venezuela won. So, Venezuela, congratulations to you beating the United States in baseball. Big deal there. They're probably feeling the some kind of way, but you know what? You did it. So congratulations to you here. So a lot of good stuff if you want to check that out. And boy, I gotta tell you, it was a jam-packed week in movies and music and all that stuff. And I know that BTS stuff is going to be popping up on our Play FM playlist. Question is it, if you want to hear it, you know what to do. If you want to hear it, it's easy to do. 185. If there's any music you want to hear that's new, 1855 for Play FM, playfmonline.com, Play FM hits on social media if you want to get your favorite song on the air. And trust me, there is a lot of great music you might want to get on air here on Play FM. So, let me do it like this here. And let me wrap this all up here on this week here, because it's been a very interesting week. And this is something new we're going to be doing every single week here. It is called the Night Show Podcast. We'll have a video podcast here every single Saturday with all the stuff you may have missed. And there is a bunch of stories that I wanted to hit on. There's one thing I did not get to in weird news, and I need to get to that right now. And it involves Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, he did pop up in a press conference on Thursday. It was a live press conference. Reporters were there, all that. Reason that was big was the internet started going on a very interesting story there. They are actually believing that Benjamin Netanyahu was dead. Listen, and the reason that this got so hot and so easy was they accused Israel of using AI to do deep fakes and all this stuff, and those hands and those fingers weren't his, and all this stuff. And it got wild. Of course, he had to do a live press conference to quell that threat and quell that whole story because it just really shows something here. The internet can't be trusted anymore. You cannot believe what you see. There's going to be people taking deep looks at what you're seeing because that's how it goes. That just is how it goes. So that's just the truth of media in these days here. So that's it for me here. Um, Gonna remind you here if you want to check out the show is going to be on from let me see if I'm here. Yep. It's going to be on every weeknight from 7 to midnight on 1057 Play FM. If you're in Gainesville, you can check us out there. You can also check us out on Audacity, TuneIn, and Live 365. Those are absolutely free to download on your favorite device. Again, we're available on Live 365, Audacity, and TuneIn if you want to check that out. All right, I'm done here. I'll admit it's been a great week, but it's time for me to enjoy the rest of this weekend and enjoy the basketball. By the way, here a lot of big upsets happening and going down, but we got Friday to get through and all that stuff. So I'm ready for round two here, and it's going to be absolutely fun. Enjoy your weekend and have a great one. I'll see you Monday at 7 p.m. on Play FM. Enjoy the week, everybody. Have a good one.